One decision, $5 million a year I lost as a result. Scariest decisions I ever made in my entire life, which was when I had my gym.
More often than not, just lowering your prices is a lose-lose race to the bottom. Nobody wins. But that doesn't mean you should also just throw in the towel and give up every time your competitors lower their prices, trying to take away market share.
If you're lowering your prices to stay competitive, you're not protecting your business. You're weakening your brand. Every time you discount, you're telling the market your product isn't worth full price, even if it is. And that one move shifts everything. You stop being seen as an authority. Suddenly, you're playing a game where the only way to win is to keep charging less. It's a slow brand death that most business owners never see coming. They think it's smart marketing, but it's really silent self-sabotage. Today, I'll show you exactly how lowering your prices destroys your brand and what to do instead. The hidden cost of lower prices. Lowering your prices feels like a quick win, but it's not. It's a silent signal that you don't believe in what you sell. When you drop your price, you're not making your offer more attractive. You're making yourself look uncertain. Because confidence isn't shown by cutting your value, it's shown by standing firm on it. Most people think lowering prices shows generosity, that it helps them serve more people. They tell themselves, if I charge less, more people will buy. But that logic is backward, because when you discount to be liked, you teach people to doubt your worth. Take JCPenney, for example.
We're all set for our biggest sale of the year, the JCPenney Days sale. With savings on all Woodmere clothing. Save on this suit, these blazers. Save on all Woodmere shirts and ties.
And look!
In 2012, the company hired Ron Johnson, the former head of Apple's retail stores, as its new CEO.
JCPenney hired former Apple executive Ron Johnson in 2011. As CEO, Johnson scaled back promotions and discontinued private brands.
Johnson saw the endless cycle of 50% off sales and coupons as a gimmick that cheapened the brand. He believed that by eliminating the sales and offering honest fixed prices, he'd simplify the process and win customer trust. On the surface, it seemed like a smart, transparent move. But it backfired, fast. By removing discounts, JCPenney accidentally sent the message that their old prices were fake. That signaled to customers that even the company didn't believe its clothes were worth the original price. The brand instantly lost the aspirational feel those pre-sale prices gave it. They failed to recognize that their loyal customers weren't just buying clothes, they were buying the thrill of the bargain. Eliminating the game shattered that emotional connection and made the company seem out of touch with what its customers valued. The result was a complete disaster. Sales plunged by 25%, and the company lost nearly $1 billion in a single year. Johnson was fired after just 17 months. His attempt to give customers a quick win by correcting prices was the quickest way to destroy the brand's equity and signal that even the company itself didn't believe in its own worth or the value of its historical model.
How lower prices damage perception.
Price sets the perception of value. When you go cheap, people assume you're low quality. Price tells the market what to think of you before they ever try your product. And when you underprice, you're not being affordable. You're branding yourself as average. Most people think lowering prices makes them look competitive. It does make you stand out, but for the wrong reason. When your price looks cheap, people assume your offer is cheap. They stop comparing you to the best and start comparing you to everyone else. And sure, you might say, well, people will see the quality once they try it. No, they won't even take you seriously long enough to try. JCPenney proved this again when they restructured their pricing. A dress that used to list at $100 and regularly sold for $50 during a sale was now permanently priced at $50. But here's the problem. When the price was originally $100, the customer's brain anchored the quality to that higher number. They believed they were getting a $100 quality dress for half the price. A great deal. When the same dress was just priced at $50, it no longer felt like a bargain. It just felt cheap. The perceived value collapsed. Shoppers stopped comparing the JCPenney brand to mid-tier rivals and started comparing them to budget retailers. The sense of quality vanished. The consequence was immediate. The dramatic price change slashed $1 billion in annual sales. JCPenney proved that if you remove the high initial price, you strip away the high perceived value, and customers won't even stick around to check the quality of your $50 dress when they assume it's cheap.
Low prices attract the wrong people.
When you lower your price, you don't just make your product cheaper. You change who buys it. You open the door to people who aren't serious. people who want the most for the least. The ones who question every small thing, demand discounts, and complain when results aren't instant. And when your time gets eaten up by those kinds of clients, your best clients suffer. The people who actually value what you do leave for someone else who charges more, because a higher price feels like higher quality. Think about what happened with Groupon. When it blew up, every local business wanted in. Restaurants, salons, gyms, all offering 50, 70%, even 80% off. It looked like free marketing. But here's what they didn't see coming. Those customers weren't loyal. They were bargain hunters. They didn't care about the food, the service, or the results. They cared about the deal. The moment the discount ended, they vanished. And the loyal customers, the ones who paid full price, started feeling cheated. Why should they pay more for the same thing others got for half off? So they left too. In the end, businesses were left with overworked staff, bad reviews, and way less profit than before. Groupon became the perfect lesson in what happens when you chase customers who only care about cheap. You might fill the room, but you empty the brand. So if your goal is to grow your brand, you need clients who invest in results, not clients who hope results come cheap. Because when you attract bargain hunters, it changes how the market sees your entire business. More work, more stress, less reward. When you lower your price, you don't get more profit. You just make yourself work harder for the same money. The real cost of low pricing is the extra volume you now have to push just to hit your targets. High-value brands make more with less effort. When you discount, you trade leverage for labor. Most people believe that low prices will multiply sales and that extra volume covers the margin loss. You think that if you cut the price, you'll just sell more to make up for it. But the logic is inverted. To make the same profit, you'd have to sell exponentially more, meaning more customers, more support, more headaches, and more complexity. You might argue that you can just scale volume, add more clients, expand reach, or drive more traffic. Sure, but at what cost? More volume means more operations, higher support costs, and thinner margins. You end up running on a treadmill that never stops. Just look at the smartphone market. The manufacturing cost for flagship phones, Apple or Android, usually lands between $400 and $600. Yet Apple sells its phones at high margins, capturing the vast majority of industry profits. Meanwhile, brands like Samsung compete across hundreds of lower-priced models. They push massive volume just to earn a fraction of Apple's profit. In a typical quarter, Apple's mobile division earns profits that are often 5 to 8 times higher than Samsung's mobile division, meaning Samsung had to sell far more phones just to reach a fraction of Apple's profit. So imagine this. To match the profit from one iPhone sale, an Android brand might have to sell 3 or 4 phones or more, doing triple the work just to stay in the game. It's a perfect example of working harder for the same profit. Don't aim to move more units. Aim to earn more per unit, because when you raise your price and your value, every sale becomes worth more, and you work less for more. How to compete without compromising price? You don't compete by being cheaper. You compete by being better, because when your offer becomes undeniable, price stops being the deciding factor. See, most people try to win by subtracting, cutting price and margin, but real winners compete by adding more value. You can charge more than everyone else if what you offer is worth more than everyone else's. That's the game. So how do you do it? You stack value. You improve the offer until it becomes stupid not to buy. Add bonuses that remove friction. Add guarantees that eliminate risk. Add experiences that make people talk about you after they buy. You make it so clear, so obvious, that even your competitors would buy from you. And here's the truth. You don't have to be the cheapest when you're the clearest. Most businesses don't need to lower their prices. They just need to communicate their value better. Clarity builds trust, and trust builds sales. If you can show people why your offer saves them more time, gives them better results, or costs them less pain, they'll happily pay more. So stop asking, how do I lower my price? Start asking, how do I make my offer undeniable? Because when your offer is that good, you don't chase customers. They chase you. Here's the test. If I doubled your prices today, could you still sell it? If your stomach dropped just thinking about that, that's the problem. Because the market doesn't decide your value, you do. And every price cut is just you negotiating against yourself. So before you change your price, ask, who's actually running my business? Me or my fear?